Hello, and welcome back to the Blooming Journal Live. It's me, Colleen Watson, president of Century Publishing, where we help small business owners find the words that resonate with their ideal customers and a little bit more. We're continuing our series about starting the year right. I can't believe we're past the middle of January. How did that happen? It's so confusing. But here we are. And let us talk about, we're going to continue talking about my new product, the VIP All Access Pass. Today the focus is going to be on death and taxes. Now, we already talked about taxes in the money part of the business planning, but in this fourth pillar of the VIP All Access Path, we're going to be talking about having a will and or a living trust, depending on what your needs are. But basically having a plan for your death. Now, I understand nobody really wants to think about their death. Who does? It's not pleasant. It's not fun. It's not kind. But the sad thing is, and the reality of life is that every breath you take, you're one breath closer to your death. That's life. It's not pleasant. It's not something we like to think about, but that is the reality. And there are some psychological benefits of considering our deaths. There's some psychological drawbacks too, but we forget there are good parts of thinking about death. Now, having a will is one of the things that we need to do as business owners if we want that business to be a legacy of any kind for our kids. Now, we need to have a business will no matter what. I am single and childless, I'll admit that. But I had a will very early on, and I remade it when I started my business. Why? Because I have people that I am responsible for, even if I don't have children. That doesn't mean that I take that responsibility lightly. That doesn't mean that I want the people behind me to be burdened by anything. And I want to control who gets my stuff. So for those of you who are just like, I don't want to think about it, what happens if you don't have a will? Now, I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination. I did not go to law school, but I can tell you this, and you can ask any lawyer, if you don't have a will, that doesn't mean you avoid going to probate. Now, there is a limit. If your estate is under a certain amount of money, you don't have to go through probate. But for those of us people who own a house, you don't meet that limit. You're going to have to go through probate. And if you don't have a will, that means somebody from the state is going to become the executor of your will, and they're going to decide how things go. So somebody who doesn't know you, doesn't know your family, doesn't know the dynamics, understand your choices, is going to decide how things get distributed. May even decide who gets custody of your kids. And they have to be paid. So the court is going to pay them from your assets, which means your family is going to get less money, right? If you don't want the government to interfere in any of that, you need to have a will. And if you want to make sure that most of your assets don't have to go through the probate you need to have set up beneficiaries on your 401k, your savings accounts, all of those things, right? You're going to have to make some plans for things you don't consider, like your social media accounts. So having a plan for what happens after you die and who has access to what stuff, so that somebody who doesn't know you and is going to take part of your money to figure it out doesn't have to do that. So this is less about not wanting to face death. Think of it more about having control over what happens after you die. You know what? You still have to be a parent if you have kids and make the best possible decisions for them. That means doing hard things, and that includes making a will. All right. So thank you so much for joining me this week on this. Next week, we're going to continue this conversation. Do not forget that my class on creating your new About Me page is coming up. next weekend, next Saturday. You still have a week to get tickets. It is still possible, but time is running out and it's limited. It's going to be in the show notes how to get them. If you want to talk about any of this, there is my calendar link. That's also going to be in the show notes. A free 30-minute anything appointment, and we can talk about whether or not this is right for you. Remember, this program is launching in February as a pilot, so you'll get it at a discount. So if it's interesting to you, come and talk to me about it. We'll get it figured out. Thank you for joining me today. If you've been doing this all along, I'm so grateful for your time and attention. If you just stopped today, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Maybe you'll come back next week, Monday through Friday here at 9 a.m. And remember, rock stars, it's never too late to bloom. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.